दिव्य सज्जनों, भारत के माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधीश ऑनरेबल डॉक्टर जस्टिस डी.वाई चंद्रचूड़ आज हम सबके बीच मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में यहाँ विराजमान है। हम सब के लिए बहुत सौभाग्य की बात है। न्याय के प्रति महोदय आपका मानवीय चिंतन और पूरी न्यायिक प्रक्रिया में आपका जो मार्गदर्शन हम सबको मिलता है वो हमारे लिए सबसे बड़ा प्रेरणा का स्रोत है। इस अवसर पर आपकी उपस्थिति को नमन करते हुए मैं निवेदन करूंगा ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया ऑनरेबल डॉक्टर जस्टिस डी.वाई चंद्रचूड़ से कि इस अवसर पर अपने प्रेसिडेंशियल एड्रेस के लिए पधारें और इस अवसर पर हम सबका अपने संबोधन के माध्यम से मार्गदर्शन करें, अपना शुभ संदेश हम सबको दें।
Good evening to everyone. The Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Shri Vinay Kumar Saxena ji, Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, Shri Kiran Rijiju ji, the Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri, Honorable Chief Minister of the Government of NCT of Delhi, Shri Arvind Kejriwal, my very distinguished fellow brother judges, Mr. Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Justice Bhushan Gawai, Justice Vikram Nath, Justice Abhayok, Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, members of the Delhi High Court Building, Maintenance and Construction Committee led by Justice Manmohan, all the judges of the Delhi High Court, President of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, Shri Mohit Mathur, and all those present here. I'm truly honored to be here in your midst this evening, together with all the officers and staff of the High Court, the representatives of the Delhi government, the architect, and everyone whose hard work has made this evening possible. Congratulations to the entire team of the Building Maintenance and Construction Committee who ably guided the Public Works Department team and their architect, Mr. Gunmeet Chauhan, whose vision has made the 2013 dream of enhancing the capacity of the High Court of Delhi a reality with the inauguration of the S Block building. I was a young lad of 12 or 13 when the Delhi High Court building was inaugurated and when the transition happened from the small circuit court to the established building for the Delhi High Court. And I still remember my mother coming back from the event that morning and sharing with my father that what we saw today is not a tin shed High Court building as we are used to seeing across the country, but she said it's a 5-star hotel. And I was wondering how we could term this building today. Should we go to a 7-star hotel or perhaps something even more significant? But then we have to place all this in the perspective. Since 1966, the Delhi High Court has been a witness to some of the most legally challenging and landmark cases in Indian legal history. The intellectual rigor of all the brilliant minds at the bar and the bench who have dedicated their lives to the Delhi High Court has helped it truly to become an institution of preeminence, which continues to contribute to India's legal jurisprudence. The belief held by common citizens that if they approach the Delhi High Court, they will secure justice is a testament to this institution's commitment to the constitutional goals of justice, ensuring that it remains fair, accessible, affordable, and quick. So this building, in that sense, combines the modern with the democratic. The Delhi High Court itself is a whiff of fresh air in the state corridors of jurisprudence. It's a court of equity, and it's a court of relief for citizens, even in the most difficult of times. And it is in that context that I viewed what the architect said of the 3 basic parameters which guided this building in its design: contextual architecture, climate change resilience, and demographic architecture. Perhaps we can transplant those concepts to the soil of jurisprudence. Our jurisprudence has to be contextual to be able to meet the challenges of the time. Resilience in the face of climate change both physically and metaphorically, and jurisprudence which meets the demographic changes which are overtaking our times as we increasingly become a young society. The constitutionally recognized right to access to justice, which is embodied in Article 14, Article 21, and Article 39A, breathes life into the principle of the rule of law. Fairness, equality, efficiency, and impartiality are inherent in our understanding of access to justice. In order to make sure that we are providing equal access to justice, attention must be paid to the design and administration of the judicial setup. An important component of actualizing the right of access to justice is ensuring that we have adequate judicial infrastructure, including physical and digital infrastructure and personnel strength. And where best to begin? I think we have to begin at the grassroots, where our district judiciary is situated. Because it is really our district judiciary which has the immediate impact on the lives of common citizens, where people in distress come as a point of first contact, seeking solutions to their problems of daily life. And I think that is where we are really 70 years down the line, deeply and deeply in want. Because if we contemplate of buildings where an accused is led into a dungeon to be waiting for the whole day with no toilet facilities, I think that really is the true face of the district judiciary which we need to resolve. Because I always do believe that much as we would like to have the best infrastructure in the capital city, I think India also survives much beyond the capital. I think it is there that we need to focus our attention as we go forward. One of the goals of the e-courts project is to provide qualitative and speedy justice through efficient court management. A positive correlation between judicial infrastructure and the quality and speed dispensation of justice has long been established. The National Mission for Justice Delivery and Legal Reform states that adequate judicial infrastructure is a precondition for reducing delays. Traditionally, judicial spaces have been used to contribute to the idea of the majesty of the law. Court complexes built during the colonial times were used to create an imposing effect over the public, restricting the access to an exclusive few. The architecture of our buildings was intended to produce a sense of fear and awe. And the divide between those who dispense justice and those to whom justice was delivered was intended to create that sense of fear and awe in the consumers of justice. However, our understanding of justice has now drastically changed, and our efforts are now concentrated on reaching out to people, as opposed to people reaching out to us in all the work that we do as judges and lawyers. Judicial spaces are considered to be public or civic spaces, and thus spaces which should be universally accessible. The symbolism of court complexes helps in materializing justice, making it tangible and corporeal for citizens who come from far and wide. The courtroom, whether physical or virtual, provides a setting where the search for justice takes place for the citizen. The increasing judicial work in the Delhi High Court put pressure on the already hard-pressed existing infrastructure, leading to the requirement to construct additional buildings in the form of C block and S block. The magnificent building of S block boasts of over 200 law chambers, as we saw a short while ago, a judicial convention center and an auditorium, a place for the Delhi International Arbitration Center, space for administrative offices, and parking facilities, common meeting rooms, a cafeteria, open green spaces. All these would definitely provide an enabling and stress-free environment for litigants and lawyers to discuss and collaborate. Because we must face the fact and reality that court spaces are spaces of stress for common citizens. They're not spaces where common citizens come to enjoy their lives. They come to places which they would rather not come to, because they come to places because they are face to face with dispute. Therefore, these spaces and a dedicated space for the Delhi International Arbitration Center in the S Block constitute a step in the right direction for strengthening the practice of ADR in the country. It sends a positive signal to the domestic and international commercial world. A term which has been repeatedly used to describe the newly constructed S Block of the High Court of Delhi is that it personifies democratic architecture with open offices, pedestrian paths, seating space equity, and universal accessibility. Louis Sullivan, a prominent American architect who is perhaps best known for this aphorism, "Form follows function," once said that the spirit of democracy is a function-seeking expression in organized social form. Therefore, arrange your architecture for democracy, not feudalism. And what better example can you have than this building today of the Delhi High Court, which has replaced the traditional domes with rectangular spaces, so typical of modern functionalism as we see it today. While I am no expert in the science of architecture and cannot claim to understand what this phrase means for the architects, I do want to emphasize that our judicial system and courtrooms must be democratic, inclusive, and equally accessible. Their design must accommodate people from diverse backgrounds, ensuring meaningful participation. On the 26th and 27th of November, we celebrated Constitution Day by deliberating and discussing different mechanisms on how to enhance the justice delivery system. While issues faced by each High Court differ, there was a consensus that we must create a multitude of equitable ways for different groups: women, Dalits, the marginalized groups, the LGBTQ+ community, persons with disabilities, the elderly, and the poor, to engage and participate in the process of adjudication in a meaningful way. I must share with you that the journey or the travel from the Supreme Court towards the S Block boasts of an impressive edifice nestled harmoniously with its surroundings of India Gate, the Akash Air Force Mess, the National Gallery of Modern Art, and Sheshar Suri's Gate. These made me think that the S Block is built where it was always supposed to be. Inaugurating this modern and state-of-the-art building of S Block fills me as a judge and a person who has got very little in life except the commitment to the cause of justice, to fill with immense pride, since it truly symbolizes that our justice delivery system is ready for the future. Today truly is a proud moment for all the stakeholders of the High Court. The Delhi High Court's commitment to justice is exemplified by the newly inaugurated S Block. I do believe it really signifies, in a very symbolic way, the ability of this court to be truly as a front runner in dispensing speedy, equitable, and fearless justice to our citizens. It's a High Court to which I looked up to when I was a young lawyer. It's a High Court to which I looked up to as a judge of the Delhi High Court, as a judge of the Bombay High Court, and then as the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court. And we look up to the Delhi High Court for its new jurisprudence, which is emerging every now and then. Once again, I extend my wholehearted congratulations to the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, Justice Satish Chandra Sharma, to everyone in the Buildings Committee, and all of you who have collaborated together to produce this architectural marvel. This couldn't have been possible except for the dedicated effort of all the laborers who strove to achieve what they have achieved in terms of a modern building for the future. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's been a great honor to be here.